Hi, I'm Rose Pellar, life change coach who is also a divorce lawyer, and I am the founder of the Beyond Divorce to Happiness program. This is video 3 in a series of videos which I have put together to help you through your marriage breakup. In the previous video, video 2, I suggested that there were 10 practical steps to take when your marriage is over, but today I will focus on your thought process when your husband announces he wants a divorce and you are not yet ready to say goodbye to the marriage. Hardly any couple ever comes to the decision to end the marriage at the same time, even though you may have been arguing about what is wrong with the marriage. Ultimately, the person at the receiving end of this announcement will be shocked or at least surprised by the news. Being told that your husband wants to leave the marriage can evoke feelings of rejection, abandonment, and possibly even anger. If these emotions are overwhelming, try to take a step back because this is likely not the best time to negotiate or have a discussion, since reason and rationality may not be present. In my Beyond Divorce to Happiness program, we look at the stages of grief surrounding a marriage breakup, and we show that there are, in fact, some stages at which decisions should not be made. Therefore, it is a good idea to delay any response except to say, I need time for this to sink in. Then say, let's talk about this tomorrow or the next day. Don't ask for permission to do this, simply do it. At some point, you will be able to regain your composure to be able to deal with the news rationally. At that point, you are likely interested to know why your husband has decided to end the marriage. Your husband may not be willing to divulge the reasons either, because in his mind, the decision has been made and there's no point in arguing about it. And also, he may be hoping to avoid an argument. I would not be too hung up on this, although if he is unwilling to discuss it, the reason may be one which is not conducive to saving the marriage. For instance, if he has interest in another woman, or a man for that matter, then I believe the marriage is unsalvageable because already his affection, attention, and effort is no longer invested in the marriage. If you discover that you want to save the marriage, the question you should be asking your spouse is there anything that I can do that will help you to change your decision? Even if the answer is yes, you will need to confirm that it is a change that you are prepared to make and that you're both committed to saving the marriage. Marriage requires two willing and committed persons. The important thing I propose is that the change required should not require you to make sacrifices that go against your value. The purpose of this video is not to go into marriage counseling, and should you both make a decision to save the marriage, then you might wish to seek the help of a marriage counselor. Should your husband stand resolute by his decision to end the marriage, do not beg, cry, and plead for him to stay. Even if he did end up staying, this may be out of guilt or obligation and may not prove to be a very satisfying marriage. In your mind, there will always be that doubt, and this may build resentment at the slightest discord. Do not act out of anger, even though it is natural to rebel against his rejection of the marriage. Anger mostly causes us to behave irrationally and does nothing to change the circumstances. Many individuals have become vindictive and caused themselves the loss of dignity and money attempting to prove a point that the behavior of their spouse is condemnable. we end up hurting ourselves more than the other person. The following is a suggestion to help you deal in a less damaging way when your spouse is leaving you. Ask yourself, why is it that you want to save the marriage? Is it because of the years invested or wasted in the relationship? Is it because you're afraid to be alone? Is it because you have become dependent on the other person and can't see how you will manage? I suggest that you instead ask yourself, if the situation were different today, and I could picture the kind of marriage I would like for myself, would I choose the one I have today with my husband? Be totally honest with yourself. You may have just settled into what you believed was an okay marriage. I imagine you would want a marriage where you both love each other, are happy with each other, and are committed to having a life together. And so, if he no longer loves you, isn't happy with you, and is not committed to having a life with you, then it probably isn't a marriage you would choose for yourself. Nonetheless, only you know the answer to this question. Sorry. Even if you want to save the marriage, if he's not interested, then it won't work because it takes two to make a happy marriage. In the event you have established that he does not want to save the marriage, despite the fact that you want the marriage, please do not beg or plead for him to stay. Even if he did stay out of guilt or obligation, is that the kind of marriage that you want? Do not lash out in anger, even though it may be warranted. This will only serve to confirm his decision to leave. Any marriage breakup is devastating because we have heard the story that the two lovers get married and they live happily ever after. Our dreams are shattered and we are left to pick up the pieces. My advice is that you may not be able to pick up the pieces of the marriage, but you can pick up the pieces of your self-image, your right to be happy and to be the best that you can be. Do not let your marriage breakup define who you are. Decide for yourself who you are and what you want your future to be now that your marriage is over. We often can't do this on our own, and it helps to have the support of someone who can guide you on your journey. I have been down that road, and I hope that maybe soon we will be able to work together to get you through your divorce to find happiness. So if this video has been helpful for you, please comment below. Even if it hasn't and there's something else you would like addressed, please comment below. I value these and I promise I will address as many of your questions as I can. So in the next video, I will be talking about the situation where you are the one who wants to leave the marriage and your husband doesn't want to let you go. So to your happiness, I am Rose Pellar, life change coach, who is a divorce lawyer and the founder of the Beyond Divorce to Happiness. See you soon.